Welcome back to 2020. It's Sunday the 3rd of Feb, or 2nd of Feb I think it is. And this video is going to be about my steering system. I know that's not a steering system, but the other day or last week I went to Kumu, a hot rod show over here in New Zealand, and got myself a flat base and basically raised all of that up another 1.5 inches to get rid of the drop, which I thought was pretty cool. Oh, and there's my water overflow for the LS setup. Right, which isn't quite finished, just needs a couple of brackets, but we're getting there. So what we have here, and I know I've covered a separate video various times, but I want to do a complete steering only one because I've done heaps of little minor updates recently. So we have an 86 to 90 something 2, I think it is, Cutlass steering column in the bulk. All the tilt works, indicators work. We've got the gear selector over there, other side there still. That all works. Obviously you've got park, reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, 1. And at the moment I've just got a little Chevy truck steering column on there, which I don't actually mind, to be honest. Quite like that. Not into big spanky sports wheels like what I've got on the Nova. But yeah, so you can see the weld where I joined the bottom section for the truck, which goes down and mounts onto the floorboard. It still runs the factory rubber isolator in behind that panel. My handbrake cable is going to go out through there in another video shortly. But yeah, so the steering column, like I said, comes out. It's a 30-inch to the end of the joint, which comes down to about there somewhere, to the main shaft that comes out. You can see the rubber boot there for the isolator, should I say. That's all part of my I Did It gear selector. I'm going to cover that off in another video too. I've got heaps of little updates to do for you. But back to the steering. So yeah, come out of the firewall. We went with a, what do we got there? I think it was a double D type bush on the top. And that's just a locking nut that goes through to stop it from sliding in and out. Goes halfway into the main shaft, obviously through the first universal joint. We go back to a double D into a spline, and we only splined it because we wanted to make sure we could clock everything correctly if we needed to. So as it sits here, we've got, these are all offset, all set up by PG hydraulics over here, through the Heim joint, through the universal into a Heim joint, which effectively, if I can get down in there, is a bracket on the chassis rail. So there's a Heim joint on the chassis rail. That's the box plate for the C4 that you can see there. That's the C4 suspension parts, so that's the box plate and the bracket. Obviously comes down to another universal and into the C4 Corvette steering column, the steering box itself. So you can just see the fittings that run off to the center, and these two here are for the main feeds. One runs up to the power steering pump, and the other one runs up to the power steering bottle, which is currently sitting on the workbench because I'm making a bracket to mount that next to this here. But other than that, the steering column's all complete, everything's up and tested. There's no funny noises when I turn the steering wheel. Looks like it gets pretty good lock to lock. It is lifted at the moment, and yes, that is a BMW rim on there, but I've got to save a bit more money before I go and buy my custom 3-piece ones that I want. So yeah, my steering's all hooked up and done. I have a feeling that 2020 is going to be a very good year. So I'll be back hopefully in a couple of days, or maybe even later this afternoon, with the other video on the I Did It gear selector.